Attack the enemy! Victory is ours!
Hey everybody, welcome back for more War Thunder tanks. Finally, a good battle with 6.3 Axis. Pretty rare. This battle, I'm going to actually bring it to you in its entirety because it was a knockdown, drag-out slugfest. It actually lasted so long that it went longer than the duration of the NVIDIA Shadow Play's DVR capability, so I had to go back and get the very beginning part right here from the replay as we started out from our spawn. And like I said in yesterday's video, this battle also was from 8 September 2017. It happened just a few hours after yesterday's video with the "if you can't beat them, join them." Of course it did, after I joined the Allies for a battle or two. But I've been trying to get a good battle with 6.3 Axis / 6.3 Japan, and it is just not something that happens very, very often whatsoever. Very rare. I've had a few victories playing 6.3 Japan, but it's maybe 1 out of every 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 sometimes at a stretch. It's difficult. But I'm trying with the STA-1 to get some sort of battle where I get more than 1 to 2 kills or a couple assists, but boy, with this thing, the mobility upgrades are so necessary, and I don't have any of them yet. And I do have the M82 shells. I finished those in like my 11th battle, which was good. But until you get the mobility, it's hard to shoot at someone and not be able to take immediate counterfire, which almost always ends in you completely disabled in your turret or just straight up destroyed. Because there are a lot of people. There are 3 people crammed in that little tiny turret, and it's really easy to get all of them. Now this guy right here, I misidentified as a KV-220. Turns out he was an M46. I thought it was the top of an KV-220 turret. So that's what I told the team was there. I was wrong. It is actually an M46, but I did see a KV-2 over to the left, right before the original Centurion Mark 10 got destroyed, while I was still talking about the mobility upgrades on the STA-1. Come back up from behind my little hidey hole, catch this M46 driving up, and get a pretty good shot into him for an actual one-shot kill with the STA-1. The M82 nuke rounds are pretty good to have. And if you notice down in the kill feed, you can see a T-54 on the other team, which means this was a fully up-tiered battle against 7.3 allies. Not good, but it makes this battle all the more sweeter for the victory. And I notice a BT-5 here creeping up on our guys, and I'm crawling up to get the easy free kill there, and he just gets annihilated by a Tiger II Henschel turret before I can even crest over the hill. So that was too bad, but oh well. We're doing an alright job holding the enemy team off the capture point here, which I was pretty happy about. Right here I'm looking for what I thought was still the KV-220 because I hadn't seen him in the kill feed. So wasn't sure what had happened, thought he must have gone around behind the hill there, so moved on for searching for something else. And what do I spot but a Stridsvagen? And got an actual penetrating, good angled shot on him too, for a second one-shot kill of all things with the STA-1. I was thinking to myself, this is it. This is finally going to be my first good battle in the STA-1. Here it comes. And move forward again. The rocking back and forth peek, shoot, hide, reload, peek, shoot, hide, reload was working out fairly well for me up to this point. Can hear a lot of shooting going on all over the place. I can see somebody's getting marked up there. I can't see him, so I shot to take a tree down. Backed up to reload again, and I see somebody dump smoke on the far side of the hill, which is definitely going to be somebody who's an enemy. So pulling up to see what I can spot there out of who's shooting the smoke rounds. And what do I see but an IS-6 coming? Not what I wanted to see. Tried to get a sneak a shot in between his armor skirts and his road wheels, which didn't work, not surprisingly. Backed off, marked him, and moved back to repair. Or reload, I mean, not repair. And he is making a move on my guys over here to the left. So I've got to try to do something to at least distract him or stop him, because he's got a free and clear path all the way back, essentially, to where all of our team is. If he pins our team back in the spawn, it's going to go really poorly. Now, naturally, I couldn't see anybody around these rocks, including the T-44 that was behind the IS-6, so... And now an M46 also joining them, so at least 3 enemies moving in on our spawn. And I've got to do something to stop them. As the IS-6 takes out our Sturrer Emil, who was playing goalie back there. And then my STA-1 just gets hung up on rock after rock after rock here, and just can't move forward. I do get a good shot into the side of the turret of the T-44, just missing his ammo, but still blacking it out. And as I'm trying to get the stupid thing to rotate in place around and move for a second shot, follow-up shot, I get hit by a T-29, who was also following their spawn rape attempt convoy. So, thought about the bomber briefly, but it's only got 100 or 50 kilo bombs in it, so forget it, coming in with the KI-61 with the 250 kilo bombs instead. And at least did get an assist follow-up for the STA-1 on the T-44 that I had put a bit of a hurting on in his turret. As I'm trying to get back to the battle as quickly as possible with my KI-61 to deliver these bombs onto somebody's head. And I will give a lot of credit to the team. I'm just going to do it right now, lest I forget later. They kept after the point. They have 1 or 2 guys were out near the edges of the battle, which is acceptable. But they really kept after the point here really well and kept pressing on the capture point and didn't give up on it, which I was really glad to see. Of course, I wasn't really glad to see the bombs explode right next to that T-44 or whatever it was and only get a hit, but that's pretty expected. Rolled in on a Bearcat and tried to do my best to get behind him and take him out of the battle too before he could do anything harassing my team here. And then you'll see there I've got tracers coming from the left and tracers coming from the right, which means there's at least 3 enemy airplanes up, and I'm the only one from our team. As this guy goes into some defensive roles to get away, I'm going to start getting picked by... I knew the guys were going to be behind me before too long. And tried to go into a half Immelman here to get behind... Or half a... not an Immelman. Split S is what I meant. And just had enough wing damage that my plane just dragged down into the water, and that was that. Unfortunately, no kills and just a little bit of an assist for the KI-61, but back to the ground it was. So we've got an enemy being marked there, put my cursor over the map and immediately fire artillery on him, but I'm pretty sure that it was the Panther II in the kill feed that had just killed the T-54, so the artillery went at nothing, but better to fire the artillery where you see an enemy marked and then find out that it had been destroyed than wait and find out that he kills your teammate, I guess. Anyway, moving back in, you can see that the Panther has just been destroyed as well. There's all the artillery hitting next to what was the burning wreck of the T-54. And I'm going to try to keep my speed up and get past it. You can see an enemy all the way down the alley who naturally has enough time to get a shot right into the side of my tank and destroy 2/3 of it. And he was a T-29, but for some reason he didn't give me a follow-up shot and instead presented me with the side of his turret, which with the APDS rounds on the M41 was actually all the shot I needed to wreck his turret crew pretty well. I don't know why he didn't follow up on me. He was machine gunning at something up there to the east, but there's no friendlies left, so I don't know if he was shooting at an airplane or what, but I don't know. So I reloaded, fired off my loaded APDS round and reloaded with smoke to shoot some smoke rounds down where he was to not give him a free chance to come back and kill me while I'm trying to repair. And then fired another smoke round as close as I could to myself. The gun would not depress for some reason. Fired another smoke round as close as I could to partially screen myself from whatever had just tried to bomb me, which I'm pretty sure was a P-47, although I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, the repairs get finished, and somehow I haven't lost any of my crew members. There's just a couple of them wounded, so slam that throttle forward, UG. It's time to get the heck out of Yokohama. And we are moving. Now there's an enemy marked up there on the mini-map, and my artillery I see is nearly reloaded, so I'm going to fire supporting artillery up on the guy hiding around the corner there. And then get up here as quickly as I can to help the team defend at the A point. We've got, like I said, if you look at the mini-map, we've got all our guys are around the A point, which is good on a conquest map. They're actually doing what they can to hold the capture point, and we're slowly bleeding their tickets back down to a respectable level. They've got about a 2-to-1 advantage on us on tickets right now. So I got some couple hits with the artillery. I'm moving up to help the Ferdinand, and the Ferdinand deals with the problem himself, the Centurion Mark III. So I'm going to roll up behind the Ferdy and just park myself behind this little rock escarpment here and give myself about 22 feet of rock armor to the left side of my tank. And then just scan the hills there for anything coming over the top to try and protect the Ferdinand a little bit. So I'm going to reload with smoke again and fire smoke up at those hilltops so that any enemies trying to sneak and peek over there at least don't have a little free shot at us and have to actually come all the way over the top and expose themselves before they can see anything. Now this rock here that looks like it's really close is actually not as close as it seems, as you can see. And it's too bad because there's an FV 4005 that comes around right where I was trying to fire that last smoke shot that kills our Ferdinand. So I'm reloading with my APDS and trying to get a shot on the 4005 in return, and I get plinked in the side by the T-29. Speaking of not getting a follow-up shot on somebody, although trying to chase down a T-29 and an M41 is a brave proposition at best. I tried to warn the Tiger up in front of me there that the T-29 was coming behind him at A. Didn't have enough time. He didn't see it or whatever. He also gets taken out, and we've now got one guy up north above the A point and a couple of tank destroyers and AAA down south of the A point, but nobody really close to the A point. So I'm fully expecting that the T-29 is going to get into the A point very quickly here and start taking it from us, so unfortunately, the best thing I've got left is my NATO, because the Japanese tech tree is really just like a big skeleton with very little meat on it. And there just aren't any tank destroyers from the NATO all the way up to the Type 60 SPRR. It's like 3.3 to 6.7. There's nothing else there. There's going to be, probably, with the new Ho-Ri, either the premium one or the regular tech tree Ho-Ri will probably fit in between the NATO and the Type 60, but they're not in the game yet. So I was going to go over to the left there and drive up the middle, and then decided where that T-29 was, my best chance to get a good shot at him would probably be to come up directly behind him. So I diverted over here to come up this little alleyway in the rocks here and try to get a follow-up shot from the back of his turret as they finish the capture on the A point again. Panther F actually takes out the T-29. Now, I had knocked some of his turret crew out, so it probably did help. And I'm rolling up as quickly as I can go with the NATO not being terribly quick, especially uphill through the snow. Both ways. Dad joke. Grandfather joke. Trying to get to the A point to start decapping it and hoping that the Panther up there, who had destroyed the T-29, would do the same, and he did. He did come back and he started the cap and had a fair amount of decap going before I even made it up to the point. But I was happy to come up and help him finish the capture off. We've got a little bit of friendly air cover going on, which is also always nice when you're in the Axis. We're on this battle rating for sure. We get the capture, and I'm going to back off here, and I'm going to try to cover any enemy approach through the little valley hole in the mountains over there. And I'm trying to back up far enough that I'm a little bit screened from the right there from any enemies that might come up, and before I can even get into position, the Panther is already firing at somebody coming up. And sure enough, here comes a Carnarvon, which is bad news, as he makes short work of the Panther, and then somehow doesn't see me, and I'm able to get a couple of shots at him, but unfortunately the best penetrating shell I have doesn't go through what should have been the weakest part of his turret armor, and he still didn't see me at first, which allowed me to get another shot at him, which of course also didn't go through because that was not at all the shot I wanted. I was hoping for a lower front plate shot there, and he picks off my crew and my breach, and that's pretty much going to be the end of the NATO. There's not really much I can do at this point except just mark where he is and hold him off the A point as long as I possibly can, as he just surgically removes everyone from my tank crew in the NATO. I did have enough time to mark him, and I did hold him off the capture point for at least a little bit of time for our team to get up there and do something about it at least. And then it was time to come back in the Sookie, which I couldn't do much except put artillery on the A point, but that's at least what I'm going to do.
Attention to the map.
So, again, with the skeletonized Japanese tech tree, there's nothing in between the Sookie all the way up to, again, 6.7 where you can get the M19. And I won't have the M19 until after I finish my research on the Type 60 SPRR. So the Sookie is going to be it for quite a while. And even though it's spaded, the turret rotation is not very good to track aircraft. But it does have reasonably good AP round penetration performance against light-skinned things like enemy AA or even M18s, so it's fairly decent at ground-to-ground. It's obviously not great. Now I can see that this T-29 up here behind the A point is up behind those rocks, and I actually should be able to make it into the A point here and hopefully start decapping it. And then it's exactly what happens. And I fired some harassing shots at him to chase him off the point, and as I'm firing at him, he actually gets taken out by a Jagdpanther. So I actually scored a cheap assist in my Sookie, which I was fine with. You can also see an M41 up there has been set on fire as he's backing away. This was actually pretty funny. You can see him moving by this trail of smoke. I'm pretty sure he's the one who fired artillery at me. I thought actually he didn't have FPE. And I moved as far out of the point as I thought I could to finish the capture and hopefully protect myself from some of the the artillery, because artillery in the Sookie is not something you want any part of. He did, in fact, have FPE, and as soon as I finished the capture, I turned and ran as fast as I could from the artillery, and with the last shell hitting, naturally, my gunner gets taken out. I was at least able to back away, but you can see an enemy turret getting awfully close there. And again, the Jagdpanther was coming up. I had just enough time to mark the enemy up there and then fire artillery at it, and then with a total inability to do anything against armored ground targets, I went back to anti-air mode to try and do something anti-air with the Sookie. And I switched over to the, hopefully, anti-air better shells. And before I can quite get this guy lined up, as he was quite difficult to see with the sun behind him, just barely start tracking the guns in on him and get picked off by the Carnarvon. The backup Carnarvon, because that's the Carnarvon that we'd already taken out. So right now I'm thinking, alright, we are 50-50 on the tickets. I don't like using spare vehicles unless I think I've got a chance at the battle. I thought we actually had a chance at pulling it off in this battle, so I spawned in my spare M41. Came back in, fired artillery back towards the Carnarvon up there, and hauled ass to get back to the A point one more time. And amazingly, we've got a couple of self-propelled gun tank destroyers and even a Tiger II coming up into the battle this late in the battle, which was just amazing for the Axis. And just so rare. Had a little bit of a friendly run-in with a Ostwind there, and then had to speed past the burned-out corpse of the attempted spawn-raping IS-6 on my way back to A. But right when I'm thinking, we've got it, we're going to win, they're going to bleed all their tickets out, and we're actually going to hold on for a victory. I'm still going to hurry myself to the A point as quickly as absolutely possible to just park myself in A and hold it against any enemies that are there. To, again, buy my tank destroyers a little bit more time to get there if they need to, and then deny them their capture, which of course I didn't get there in time, as I get strafed by a Bearcat who missed with his rockets and his guns, thankfully. And then I'm going to roll up on this guy in the capture point who had actually been taken out. So I'm going to park myself inside as much natural cover as I can get, switch over to the rooftop machine gun, and try to get some cover fire on the Bearcat. He dropped a bomb. I knew I had the rocks to my side, decided to just wait it out and hope that the natural rock protection would protect me, and it actually did. And then I was able to recapture the point for the third time using my spare M41, which made it all worth it. And we actually held on for the victory. Back and forth all battle long, and we pulled it off. Somewhat unexpected victory, I gotta say. And I even got another lottery. A Tier 1 premium, so yay. Not even that bad of a payout, and 5,000 total vehicle research, which was also pretty darn nice for a 6.3 battle. That's easily double what I normally get. And even pulled off second place. Three captures, 4 assists, 2 kills, all with the STA-1, the kills, and then just a couple of awards, not really a lot. The kill feed, mostly me getting killed, but the important things are me getting the base capture streaks there, and we won. Another second place victory. So thank you all for stopping by and checking this one out. I hope that the 6.3 grind is treating you guys better than me. And stop by again soon for some more War Thunder, and have a great day.